Are you struggling to juggle all life's demands and still carve out time to cook? Well, today I'm showing you how I meal prep this insanely simple yet flavor-packed maple balsamic pork tenderloin in under 30 minutes of my time. It's protein-rich, gut-friendly, and keeps me sharp all week. Hey there, it's Dr. Lexi here, your certified functional medicine pharmacist on a mission to make brain-boosting meals easy and delicious. Be sure to check out my mini course on how to make any recipe healthy. Seriously, I teach you how to make any recipe healthy, so definitely check that out. The link will be in the description below. So now let's dive into this pork tenderloin recipe. Okay, before we started cooking though, I wanted to highlight a few of the main ingredients that I use in this recipe and why. Also, the link to the original recipe will be in the description for you, but today I'll be sharing the recipe with modifications that I've made. So pork tenderloin is one of my go-to sources of protein because it's packed with the amino acids your neurons need to make neurotransmitters like dopamine and acetylcholine, the key players for focus, memory, and mood stability. However, I see no reason why you couldn't make this recipe with pretty much any type of protein, from chicken to turkey to venison, or simply swapping it for the beef tenderloin instead. I would even wager it'd be delicious as a vegetarian dish. Next, that balsamic vinegar isn't just for flavor, it's also rich in compounds called polyphenols, which help combat oxidative stress in your brain's cellular factories. Less oxidative stress means clearer thinking and less mental fatigue. And let's not forget the maple syrup. So pure maple syrup brings a touch of natural sweetness without the blood sugar roller coaster you get from refined sugar. Keeping your glucose steadier helps you avoid those mid-afternoon crashes and keeps your energy even from breakfast through bedtime. Okay, now we're actually going to get started diving into this recipe. So I'm going to briefly go over the ingredients, then we're going to make the marinade. So you do want to ideally marinate this meat in the marinade we're going to make. You don't have to, but it helps amplify the flavor. It helps start breaking down the protein, so it's not only more tender but easier to digest, which is really great for your gut-brain axis. Ingredients wise and tools of things that you're going to need. This, of course, is a pork tenderloin recipe. So we've got our pork tenderloin. It calls for shallots. I'm cheap and lazy and I have red onions, so I'm going to use red onion instead. We've got garlic cloves, Dijon mustard, maple syrup, balsamic vinegar, olive oil, thyme, cayenne, salt, and pepper. And that's all that goes into this recipe. It's very, very simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to whip up the marinade, and then I'm going to cut the tenderloin to fit into my baking dish. You will need a baking dish. And then we just pour the marinade on top. We stick it in the fridge for at least 30 minutes, and then we bake it. Okay, so let's get started. And it's seriously as simple as that. So I'm gonna pop this in the fridge for 30 minutes. During this time, I usually meal prep something else or do some other house chore that I need to do. But yeah, we'll come back in 30 minutes and then we'll get started. So we just preheated the oven to 375 and we're about to pop in the pork tenderloin. The recipe does call for searing the pork tenderloin and then baking it. I'm not gonna lie, I've never done that. I'm just too lazy. It just is what it is, but it tastes great anyway. So if you want to give that a shot, go for it. I'm skipping that step personally, but we're about to pop this in for about an hour. I usually set the timer for 50 minutes the first time, and we want the largest portion of the pork tenderloin to be at 145 before you bring it out. So what makes that easy is having a handy dandy thermometer. So here we go. And we'll come back and we'll check it in just a little bit. Okay, So this is what it looks like. I'm not gonna tip it anymore because it will spill all the juices, but it smells absolutely amazing. This took about 50 minutes to cook, as in 50. So it really just depends on your oven. Sometimes it might be a little less, sometimes it might be a little longer than that. But either way, you definitely just want to check the temperature and make sure it's at least at 145 or around there in the thickest part of the tenderloin. And that way you can make sure that you're eating it safely. So now I'm gonna let this cool all the way because this is our meal prep for the week. But if you are going to be eating it relatively soon, I would just let it rest for a while. Resting lets the juices redistribute, so like every slice is moist and melt in your mouth delicious. And I know that most recipe vlogs show the person eating and reacting to what they have just made, but like I said before, this is my meal prep for the week, so I want to savor all of this food during the week so I can have the proper macronutrients and portions for each meal. This week, I'll actually be eating this with some roasted veggies. I'm going to be doing Brussels sprouts, onions, and mushrooms, but you can easily pair this with steamed veggies or a salad, or even with garlic cauliflower rice. All of these options will provide extra fiber, vitamins, and other plant compounds such as sulforaphane, all of which help feed your gut, optimize detoxification, and fuel your brain properly. And that's it. This is a week's worth of Maple Balsamic Pork Tenderloin. I've included the link to the original recipe in the description below if you want to check it out. If you give this recipe a try, drop a comment below. And if you're new here, be sure to hit subscribe for more brain boosting tips. And don't forget to hit that like button if you found this video helpful. It lets me know to keep making more videos like this. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next one.